When I say that the NHL franchise feels like it's been on a steady decline, I hope that doesn't come as a surprise to anyone.
Oh my God.
The lobby reset glitch. Or, I mean, whatever this reset glitch is. I'm sorry. Oh my God, it's happening more. Oh! Whoa! Oh my God, what is going on with my D? Are you okay? Do I help him? In this video, I'm going to cover 5 different aspects of the game that I think need changes or a complete overhaul in order to make these features usable, enjoyable, bring back the player base, and bring in even more players to the game. The 5 things I'll be covering today are an overhaul to the Be a Pro World of Chell World, changes to player builds, online matchmaking, the obvious gameplay issues, and Ultimate Team. I won't be discussing franchise mode in this video because it did just get a massive overhaul last year, and I'm not a big enough fan of that game mode personally. So if you want insight or opinions on that, go check out Tactics or Tugi or Vasi. One of those guys, they can give you a significantly more in-depth explanation as to how they would improve those game modes. Part 1. Update to the Be a Pro and World of Chell World. Now, as I said, I understand Be a Pro is getting a bit of an update, but I don't think it's enough from what we've seen. Obviously, we're yet to play it. It could be insane. But what I would love to see personally, something similar to what 2K is doing with My Career and their online game modes. I would love to have an integrated, not open world, but enclosed world that you can run around, go to different shops, buy different items if you want to, and have that type of environment for us to be able to play and do our online careers in. Now, I already know I'm gonna get the 2K haters that don't want to spend money, and I hear you. I get it. When I play 2K, I'm the type of guy who will not spend any money on the game, so I am 100% on board with you. I want a game that I can grind, but not forced or feel like I'm forced to spend money on. But just know I will touch on this further when I get into part 2. Going back to the enclosed world, instead of having a go-kart like we do in 2K, give us rollerblades. Let us be able to rollerblade around the city, go to our shops, or if we want to play our club games, we go to the arena. If we want to play drop-ins, there's a blacktop and you use an orange puck. Outdoor hockey in that setting could be fun if done right.
Pricey pond hockey you got going there.
If you want to continue your career, you go off and you go do your career story, whatever that may be. And to that point, the world doesn't need to be massive by any means. I personally think 2K is too big. But if you have a world where you can move around, I personally would love to see that. Part 2. Change player builds. Now this is going to be another one that people are going to say, but Terry, EA just said they're announcing player build changes. If you look at what they've shown us, if you played the technical test and you see the last 5 years of builds, not much has changed. We still have 3 traits that are on our character. They're just all called X factors now. There's no real big difference. What I would like to see is them get rid of the X factors completely and let us build our characters based off of the attributes and skill points we use on them. Now, one of the big gripes I hear about NBA 2K is the pay to play model. I personally don't want a game where you feel forced to pay and put your money into it. What I would want to see is a happy middle ground where if you grind the game, you can get to level 99 in an achievable amount of time. If you can't grind the game, you don't have the time, but you have the money, you can spend it and get your player to a certain extent. Now, I don't think you should be able to buy your player to a 99 right at the start of the game, but I think you should be able to buy some of your way up to the top and not be required to grind the entirety of it. You won't get everything, but you'll get a lot of it if you pay. There is still grind required to get to the finality, but you can put the money there if you don't have the time to grind like other people do. One thing I would like to see would be multiple seasons across the game cycle that attribute to our players getting better. What I mean by that, season 1, your player starts at an 80. By the end of season 1, you can get yourself up to an 83. Season 2, you can get your player up to an 86. Season 3, up to an 89. Season 4, up to a 92. And by the end of season 5, come the end of the game cycle, you can get yourself up to a 95. I think if our player builds are tied into seasons that players need to play, it'll increase the quality of online matchmaking games that we find, which I will get into further in part 3. But having attributes tied to the seasons is going to increase the online matchmaking by having anybody who plays any type of league game or esports, now they'll need to get games in order to have their player build be up to par with everybody else. Part 3. Fix online matchmaking. If you've played more than one online game in World of Chell, I don't need to stress how terrible matchmaking is. From the laughable amount of time it takes to find a game to the insane imbalance of matchmaking, something needs to change. What I would love to see is a complete redo of the matchmaking and how our rank and RP work. What I suggest is something similar to what MLB does with their search parameters, but if I have 6 players in a lobby, all 6 players RP should be totaled together. If we're all 25,000, that means our room total is 150,000. That 150,000 RP is now searched against other teams that are in that same area. This is going to prevent teams that are of full elites or players over 30,000 RP from playing against teams that are gold, bronze level players. The amount of times that we beat up on teams with 10 plus goals and they refuse to quit makes it unbearable, and I'm sure it's vice versa for those teams where they play against elite players and are questioning why matchmaking is this terrible. So in my opinion, giving players a reason to grind behind their builds and making the matchmaking a better process, a more accurate process to what you should be playing against, what skill level you should be playing against, I think those will increase the quality of matchmaking significantly. Part 4. Fix the obvious gameplay issues. This year in the FIFA trailer, FC trailer, whatever you want to call that game, we saw them take the criticism they've received and actually apply it to the game. When I saw that, I had hope. I won't lie, I had hope that NHL could do something similar to that. And to their credit, they have fixed some of the things that have been brought to their attention, like the reverse hits and the hip checking. But that was something they added to the game, so fixing it should have been a priority years ago, not now. The things I want to see fixed are the pucks going under goalies' pads, the dead post. That's been around since 2014. 2BC made this video in 2013. It's still in the game. What are we doing? Pucks going through your player's sticks, the point shots that have been so overpowered. There's a number of issues that they could have addressed and actually fixed that people would have been happy about. But fixing things that they made a problem is not what we want. Fix those when you realize they're a problem, not make it a feature for the next game. Maybe I'm getting a little overboard here, but I just personally think this is something EA needs to address, should have addressed years ago, and the fact that the same problems persist throughout the game year after year is laughable and pathetic at best. Part 5. Hockey Ultimate Team. Now, if you know me, you know I'm not a big fan of Hockey Ultimate Team, so get it the fuck out of the game. You ruined NHL. You created a bunch of greedy motherfuckers, and now look what you left us with. This is all your fault. Look at yourself in the mirror if you play this game mode. Honorable mentions. Bring the game to PC. Every other major sports title, except MLB, is on Steam. Why is NHL not? Just make it a port over, force people to play on controller, and deal with the cheaters. Jesus. You can play the game on Game Pass. Why can't you play it on Steam? Esports integration. The fact that we have NHL teams hosting tournaments and the general population has no idea is insane to me. There should be a screen when you load up World of Chell that says, hey, the San Jose Sharks, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Washington Capitals, whatever team it may be, is hosting a tournament. Sign up. Do you think you're good? Sign your 6 up here. It can't be that hard to put a screen and a link to click through like they have right now when you load up the game and you need to buy NHL 26. So that's how I think we save NHL and bring the fan base back. If you agree, like the video. If you disagree, like the video. See you later.